listening to Inclusive AF with Jackye Clayton and Katee Van Horn.
Daily, Jackye, daily. This is Katee Van Horn.
And this is Jackye Clayton, and welcome to the Inclusive AF podcast. Probably episode number 1 million, but I don't know, Katee. What is going on in your world?
I don't think we're in the millions yet, but close, very close. It's a happy Monday, and lots going on in the world. None of which
just when we thought the world's problems would have been solved by now.
Yeah. I don't want to think or talk about anything that's going on in the world. So it's great that we have a podcast to talk about the thing. It'll be good. But we do have two guests with us today. So Desiree, Goldey, and Ashley King are with us. And so I'm actually just going to turn it over to you all to introduce yourselves, and then we'll jump in. So Desiree, do you want to kick us off?
Yeah, I'm Desiree Goldey. And I am co-host of the Talentless podcast, along with Ashley King. I also work for a company called ZRG that is in the talent space. And so Ashley and I were similar to you and Katee and Jackye, and that Ashley and I were having these conversations all the time. And we were like, let's just dump it into a podcast. And that's kind of how we got started. So I'm excited to be here.
Yeah. Awesome. Welcome.
Yeah. Des is one of my favorite people, and she's exactly right. We were both practitioners having these conversations offline, and we were just like, holy smokes, like nobody knows any of this stuff, and nobody's really putting forth the effort to, not nobody, but there's not enough effort going in that direction to really push us to where we need to go. And so we were just kind of like, why not? We're having these conversations. They can't hurt. So let's go ahead and push forward and talk about talent being a vessel for social equity and social justice, and kind of this key player where justice can dwell in a corporate disguise. And that's what TA is. So we're very excited to be here and talk with you ladies.
I love that you said that. And I love that it's called Talentless. Like, I wish it just, people don't recognize, I don't think this part of work is the part that people don't talk about, like the actual people and the impact that they're having on the full organization and how that like seeps out into the world on, it's almost like a whole different, it's like an organization in your organization that you don't talk about, like the values and, things going on within the world of work. And people always say we can't talk about like politics at work, but now literally you have to like Google whitehouse.gov just to see if you might have a job or not.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I mean, it's getting a little bit out of control.
Oh, it's past out of control.
It's way past. Yeah, I don't even know.
We
have a word for it.
We left out of control like 72 steps ago. To me.
Yeah,
we're just it's total insanity. I even personally have gotten to the point where I cannot focus on the news because it's heartbreaking, and everything that's going on. I take such emotional stock in everything, and so it just I've had to stop. I also don't doom scroll it anymore because it was affecting my mental health to some degree. It's tough.
There's no way you can't. I mean, like, just to like, because this would be fun and lighthearted. Just like the local recent going to the military and giving them like how the military world is going to be and the new rules. My favorite one that's going to protect us all as American citizens, which is shaving. And weight loss are the most important things for generals. Like, that's fun. I mean, we're that's why it's like you're stepping into my lane way too often for me to just keep quiet about what some of the things that are going on. That's something that has been crossing my mind lately. And I'd love to get y'all's take on most recent, where we know they brought all of the generals and people in our military to make sure that they are held to the strongest male standard. Because if it was women's standard, you'd have to have a child of which you cannot. And so it makes sense maybe that we would have it to the highest male standard.
Well, we're very emotional. So, it's very hard for us to be able to be in combat, Jackye.
Yeah.
So,
Clearly. It's hard to make decisions. It's hard to have opinions. We shouldn't be wearing shoes. Like we're breaking so many rules just being on this podcast. Yeah.
What do you think happens in someone's mind where they're like, you know what? I'm signing up for combat. Like at that point, I think they know what they're going to do and why they want to do that at this point. But I'm so glad that we have somebody taking responsibility for my thoughts and actions. It makes living easier. I mean, I didn't realize, really, honestly and truly, where you're talking about we're talking about what's going on with the world of work, but then talking about what President Trump, we usually don't say his name, has been able to do as far as firing people, deciding who's hired, changing job titles and departments. This is major stuff. And I think that we will see at least another version of that in the private sector.
Absolutely. It's like the trickle-down effect. He's starting one place where he knows he has ultimate control, and he's just going to weave it through the private sector. I mean, but it's not shocking to me. A little bit. It's shocking, but it's not shocking.
It should be shocking. That's what's unfortunate. This should be absolutely shocking, and yet it's not.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah,
it's a sad time.
Yeah, I think that's actually the worst part. It's not even what he says; it's our lack of shock and awe to it, because we've been so I don't want to say battered by this administration, but kind of like mentally, to where there is so much going on that would be typical outrage. But I mean, we have 20 seconds to grasp it and feel anything about it before the next thing happens. And I think what's important here is kind of like, what does that mean for us as TA people? What does that mean for us as people in HR? Because I'll even say this morning, somewhere that I am working acquired groups out of Chicago. And so now things that are happening in Chicago, whenever maybe the business didn't previously have to think of that area, now we do. And now we need to think of, what do these individuals need? How can we make sure that they are feeling any bit of safe, secure, whatever it is that we can take on for them as a business, because they take on so much for us. And so it's tiny things like that. But I will say, and this is kind of, I think the disconnect of TA, HR, and the power that we hold, and its relevancy into everything that's happening, that disconnect is 100% by design. They do not want people to know that you can help change the wealth gap and the generational wealth of an individual. You can change their status by changing their occupation title. You can do everything just by making sure that they have insurance day 1, not day 30, with how you negotiate your benefits packages. Like, there is so much that impact everyday life. And whenever we're thinking about these men giving these military speeches and what's paying them, it's our tax dollars. How do we decide for tax dollars? Well, that gets shipped out of your paycheck, and your paycheck is decided by who? Your HR team. So whenever we're thinking about all the conundrums, not only are we paying for them, we're going in, clocking into work, officiating it, making it happen, giving them their paycheck. They're mentally battering us, and then we're just clocking right back in. And so there needs to be something said for this wild disconnect of business as usual, and start saying, no, these are humans as usual. And there's emotion, and there's things, and there's ties, and no one's taking on that macro vision, that macro picture. And honestly, that is where myself and Des live, is this conglomerate view of, whenever you take everything that we do in HR and put it together, what does that actually create? Well, it creates a massive wealth gap, and it creates gender issues, and it creates a large difference in wealth stratification among races, among those with disabilities, all these other things. And it's all in the hands of people on this phone.
And where do y'all live? You brought up Chicago. I'm curious. What states do y'all reside in?
Sure. I'm in Texas.
Me too. That's why I'm laughing. I wish Donald Trump said, we're going to send the military into Texas.
That would never happen.
It won't happen.
Greg Abbott and him are best friends.
If you want to see combat, that will be the day. That will be the day when people will literally be, because in the streets, because it's deer season.
Right.
So So doing this, I
Yeah.
wish
But this was
somebody.
chaos by design, right?
Yeah,
Of course.
this is all by
was-
design.
It's all by design. This
And
was
that's why it's
chaos
not
by
shocking.
design. Yeah.
And Ashley, where do you live?
I live hometown of Beyonce and Simone, so Houston, out of Texas as well.
So y'all know.
Yeah.
Oh yes,
Not gonna come marching in here. They are not gonna come marching.
Well, I'm originally from Philadelphia. My mom still lives there, and we talk about this all the time. I would love to see them try that in Philly. I don't know,
Right?
like it would be not good situations happen over there. But I like I said, I've seen the Chicago stuff, but it's just so crazy to me. But it's chaos by design. It's a purpose to control by chaos, right? And you can't figure out what to be angry about. So you kind of just get left with this almost numb feeling. I and it's shocking to me. And the world of work is paying for it. I mean, we're seeing it. And we're seeing the outcomes of what's happening right now. Even in the job market is sad, right? The job market is tragic for people right now. They can't even get a job. Look at all the Black women that have lost their jobs because they were part of the government. I mean, it's just absolutely shocking and detrimental to the United States as a whole, in so many places. But the world of work and how we think about DI and how we think about all these other things is so affected by every moment, every time he opens his mouth or tweets about something.
yeah.
It's unbelievable.
I think I lost it when Hegseth last week said, not just the first, but the best.
Yeah.
And it went back to looking at other organizations. Long time, I'm a little older than y'all. And it always has been from the beginning. We want to hire top people just like our top people. And I've always made the argument, well, can we do better? Like, are you sure this is just the best in this bracket? Like, maybe you're hiring the best that applied on a Saturday really fast. Are you sure? And when it's like, no, you don't. Understanding the balance between not having somebody in that role does give you access to new ideas that you wouldn't have had before, making them a better candidate for the role based on the mission of what we're trying to do. And I think it does bring out, when you're talking about human resources, there are organizations that are slanted more towards the company than it is towards the people, because a lot of these things could be solved and could be put in place in a way that could be helping more people. But they're so afraid. There's so much fear and people don't know what to do. And how do we fix the balance of giving people exposure to what they do have control over, and feel safe, all while also saying, oh, turn it off starting at minute 7:35 or else you'll get really upset. Like, I don't know what the answer is right now, but it's October.
I know.
It's October, year of our Lord 2025. And we're not even,
We're not there a full year.
no, like,
I know.
that he said has even been really put into place, except for all the firings and all the different stuff. But all the heavy stuff, we're just getting started. And
I also appreciate that he's finally acknowledging that his playbook is for 2025. I'm glad we're at least now acknowledging that and saying, yeah, that is the plan.
that's what we're doing.
Yeah. Versus pretending that he didn't know what it was. So
You know what's crazy? I think above all of this is just the Overton window shift in such a fast time of what, and just for everyone who's listening and they're like, I don't know what the Overton window is. That's like this area of opportunity in which we say this stuff is acceptable. So like, whenever at the beginning, well, even right now, like the stuff that's happening in Chicago, nobody's rioting in the street to stop it. And if we're not going to push out against it, then it's just going to keep coming because nobody's stopping it. And so our Overton window has just moved so much, even just from January, and we're just in October. And like what we're willing to accept as a society, as people, as HR professionals, and things like that. I mean, look at this H-1B stuff. And we're just sitting here like, okay, I guess. Like, are y'all for real? None of y'all business people are going to say, I'm not spending $100K to get great talent outside. Like, what? And we're all just saying it. Like, that is what I think blows my mind the most, is at the end of the day, this is an administration who wants to do stuff. They can't do jack without our money. Who pays them without our money? Nobody. So again, I know it sounds so far-fetched, like very probably even naive to a lot of the people like thinking, but whenever we really do think about who's the money clip holder and who's deciding, it's always going to be that 1%, even when we don't want it to be. But whenever we think of who's distributing the 1%'s wealth, well, there's your HR and TA. So why are we not being this space here to make sure everything is properly distributed? And by properly, I mean true social equity, equal seams for equal people, all times. Like I'm about to get real passionate on this call, but like genuinely, like I can't fathom. And so that's where I'm like, this is all by design. The breaking of businesses, making the baby businesses go bankrupt. That's so his boys can have a free sale day, a garage sale, to go pluck out all their businesses and all these homes that they want to buy, because now they're all on sale because no normal person could afford it, because they made our whole circumstances within economics and society that way. It's for them. So like anytime we see stuff that's broken, anytime, who's profiting off of this break? It's always going to be the rich. Who's distributing the rich? That's always going to be the HR. So what are we doing to like actually filter?
It's like boiling frogs, like they talk about, you know, like it's been going on for so long. I was just looking at you know, dialysis and like Davita and Fresenius. Katee gets mad at me because she's like, you always name drop. I'm just trying to let people know what I'm talking about.
Davita is.
These organizations that do that have been going for so long, have been causing so much harm. And the fact that you have people that care about nurses, like they've seen it for so long that they don't even know what a healthy, prosperous, well-ran organization. And I think that's everywhere. Like people, you know, there are these feel-good stories, like the guy who left his senior graduation to go work at Burger King because there was only one person working and we're all celebrating him, instead of saying, no, Burger King, we're just going to shut you down until you pay people wages and that you hire enough people, because your fucking Whopper just isn't worth these people's lives in my community. It is like, we have not taken the responsibility in HR. I think it's been going on for so long, so incrementally small, that we don't know anymore. And it's the same with education and what's a result, or understanding how it really works. And I think they've been adjusting so much, and the 1%ers have adjusted so much and give you that feeling of being lucky just to have a place to work across,
or live, or anything,
or live,
or afford groceries, or anything, right? It's unbelievable. I just saw a post today about Bank of America raising their minimum wage to like $25 an hour or something like that, and I was like, "Are you excited? This is a post? Like we're like, everybody should be." There's like a million comments, and I'm like, what is happening right now? What is going on that this feels like a huge celebration for the streets and party? It's just shocking to me. I was blown away by how many people responded to that. Great job. What?
They responded online because they can't go in the streets because ICE will come get them, or somebody will be assassinated, or somebody's going to be pulled out. So they have to like hit a thumbs up. Because you can't go out in public and say anything.
Not now, because HR is going to come for you, because HR is the bad cop. We have been given bad cop duties, and we have been executing them so damn well that we think this is our job now. No, anytime I work with someone in HR and they start giving me conflict of information, I'm like, look, your job is to protect the company. How do you define company? Is that people or is that profits? Because that's going to give us two different directional points right here. And that deciphers everything, because in HR, your job is not profits. That is sales, revenue, finance. That's a whole different ballgame. Your focus is the people. Whether you have enough money to support it or not, again, other side of the house, they'll supply. Our job is to focus on these people at hand. Are they tended to? Are they taken care of? Are they paid equitably for equal work, equal pay? Are they like all these different things? And we don't have our house in order. And we don't have our house in order by design because
Sounds wild up, Katee. Somebody sounds very,
I get
very
it.
emotional.
Funny. I just need it. Okay. I don't agree with you, Ashley, because
tell me.
So I think we actually do have to focus on the profits, but we have to find that balance of doing what's right and also looking at, because I could go, yeah, I don't need to know about the profits. I don't need to know about the numbers, but how does that actually help me to focus on how do we help people? How do we make sure that people get what they need? I need to know both. And so, I've always said, HR is the hardest job in an organization because marketing is focused on marketing. And that's all they got to think about is marketing and what marketing dollars do I have and how do I get the message out about our products or whatever it is. HR needs to know marketing. We need to know finance. We need to know people. We need to know all the things to be able to say what are the right decisions to make sure our people can get the work done that we need to get done to get the profits that we need. So I think there is a balance that needs to be struck there where you have to know what the needs of the people are to be able to say what are the most important things that we can do or what shouldn't we be doing anymore, or whatever it might be. But I struggle with, hey, we don't really need to focus on the profits, because absolutely, yes, we do. And I think that's been what we haven't done in the past, where we've said, oh, that's finance or that's sales or that's whatever. No, we need to also know about it. But I agree with you wholeheartedly in that the people piece has to be first. So I think it's a balance we have to strike.
Yeah, no, and you make a good call out because I will say this, and let me maybe take it a step further so I can better explain. I'm more to the people of whenever we have an approved salary range and we have a candidate who comes in 20K under, are we still going to try to give them that so we can make that quote unquote profit? Or are we going to give the human their like that? And that's kind of what I mean, is not necessarily that we forget it, but what's your priority? Because when it comes down to 20K or paying them what the work is worth, which are we choosing? And that's where it usually comes between is this people, is this profit? And to be honest, the negotiation piece is usually the next question I would have asked you if you were my client was, hey, do you negotiate salaries or do we pay them what the work is worth? Because then you are teetering, you're doing the right balance. So thank you for the call out, because you are right. It is much more of a balance. It's maybe probably not a forget. I think I was too passionate in that moment, but it is definitely
As
something.
usual, by the way.
As
usual.
Yeah. But it is something that whenever the choice comes between A and B, the people that are my people are the ones who are choosing the A. And that's kind of what I mean. Like whenever push does come to shove, what are we choosing? Because that illuminates our internal efficacy of everything that we're saying. And that's our behavior towards it. So that's more. So thank you for the call out, because now hopefully that helps explain it.
100%. No, and I think that that's something that we've all seen this happen so many times, where it is you get, candidate A, candidate B. Oh, we can hire her, and I am going to be specific on my pronouns. We can hire her for $20,000 less. And so let's do that versus no, this is what the role should pay and what we should actually do to keep or to quit reinforcing the pay gap and everything else that is wrong with. I've also had the situation where, I've had recruiters come to me and say, oh, well, she just keeps trying to negotiate. So I think we shouldn't move forward with her. And I'm like,
no, more power to her.
Negotiating, would we have an issue? Because the answer is probably not. Because you know how many negotiations I've done with men? Too many to count. So I think there's just some things that, yes, we absolutely need to be doing the right thing and paying people what they're worth. But also,
well, we talk about all the time on our show about recruiters holding this power that they don't use. Right. And it shocks me that we, Ashley and I have a big problem with this when you're not fighting for the candidate, right? You have that power and the ability to do that. And the fact that you're not doing it makes you at the bottom of the list of recruiters for me. Right.
Depends on where you got in.
You're not a great recruiter.
Well, and you're not good at business either.
Right.
I guess that's where I go back to as well. It's like, you're not good at business because if you aren't paying people that livable wage, and guess what they're doing? They're going to go try and find another job. So they're not focused. They're going to go try and find something else to do, or they're going to just quit while staying with you, and quiet quitting, whatever we're calling it
Right.
this week.
Yeah.
Um,
These days.
and so it is that same concept of like, you're not doing the business any favors by saving that 20, that 20K or whatever it might be. You're actually doing the business a disservice. So anyways, sorry,
Because it's
Jeff.
not about business. Human resources has never been about business, and we're all business agnostic. But also, it depends. I think it depends on where you got into TA in recruiting. I personally, my hot take is everybody who does corporate recruiting should have at least 1 year at agency recruiting where your salary is based on what somebody makes. It's funny how you're like, no, you should pay them an extra $100,000, and my rate is 30% of what they're getting paid. Like once you've done that enough times, then you recognize that this is an overall benefit, not just to me, but overall to the organization. And I think people can have that staffing model internally of we're going to pay you 100,000 plus 10% of what the salary is that somebody is making and bringing in there, just making it up, some kind of number where you're held to that. But then also it would be great if we held people to, had different conversations about the gap, the skills gap within the organization and being paid a higher premium of getting that, because it's a whole separate skill. It's a separate skill. Negotiation is a separate skill from just the recruiting piece. And it's challenging, but you're right. And this is just like, it's so small in the biggest piece of work.
In the grand scheme, right? This is one thing.
Yeah.
Right?
And how many times have we gone to organizations and they're like, oh, we should put somebody in HR, and they're like, Emily.
Oh yeah.
Why don't you come on over?
Your job, Emily, is to talk to all the managers and train them on how to be better people for their, so then it's like built-in copay therapists. That's what their role is, with no understanding on how this works. Like it's
all.
Right.
None at all.
None at all. Most recruiters did not fall into to get training on how to be a recruiter.
Well,
not even some HR.
Not even some HR, right?
No, well, I think that's one of the pieces too, is that you're all spot on. Like there is no, even if the trainings that are built that are out there that people use, I think so many of them keep it at like a 10,000 foot level.
Yeah.
That it's not for the practitioner that day in and day out is having to make these moral and ethical decisions on people's lives and business, decisions as well, that you're like, how do I do this right? And, for the longest time, I was like, hey, just do the right thing or use your common sense. But that's not a good answer anymore.
Yeah, I was about to say,
it doesn't work anymore for anyone.
Yeah, especially after 2020, whenever we saw so many people who were not maybe educated or trained in like social equity or even diversity recruiting, to where now you have all these people who are just looking at pictures, pulling people. We have people sitting in seat wondering if they were hired for skill or skin because their company can't do their initiatives well enough to make sure that everyone knows their hiring practices are solid. They have great assessments, that they are here because they were the best candidate. Not very many companies have people that sit in seat that feel that post 2020. And that's something that we as practitioners need to be absolving. No single person should ever sit in seat and be like, am I only here because y'all had a female initiative or y'all had this initiative or what? Like, how horrible.
And not hiring now because of the perception that this person was hired because they're a Black woman. So Black women are just not going to get hired, period. Moving forward, and it's going to get worse. And then what's going to happen? Oh, and also we're not going to give you education, and we're not going to feed your family, and you're going to have a baby in case anything else happens. Like all of these things. And we're also in the same place that we were like in the 1960s as far as women's rights.
It's horrifying.
I mean,
I think we're off worse because we don't have Roe v. Wade. So I think it's actually worse than we were then, to be quite frank.
Because we have no hope. Like at least they had hope. At least people were in there marching, and at least somebody was saying something.
Well, at least they were standing up. I feel like, most of the time we're not even standing up, but to Ashley's point earlier, we're just letting it roll on by. Whereas in the 60s, at least they were out in the streets, like, yelling at people. And you see it somewhat, but not enough. Not enough.
All we have is armchair activism now. So we're all on our phones. We're all clicking like.
Yeah.
How do you do that? Like literally, like I like the military thing. Like I don't even like that part alone. Have we talked about how many people are going to be like in the streets looking for work
I know.
as a result of what's about to happen? I mean,
And I'm going to take it once. So, this Pete Hegseth is an idiot. And, his conversation.
Amen.
Yeah. Whoever's listening, please don't arrest me.
Oh, dude, I forget about that. Yeah. The feds are listening.
Yeah, always listening. But, I think there's also this piece now where I'm just going to go to go in a slightly different direction, the Medicaid reimbursements for Planned Parenthood. So again, this is something that who is this truly going to impact? And so like Ashley, to your point, and I think all of us have made this point in different times, like it's just a slew of things that are coming at us 24/7. And so it is so overwhelming to go, what is the thing we're going to focus on? Because there's 100 things that we could focus on that happened last week.
Right.
And so I think there is just that like feeling of overwhelm. And I think that's for HR for everyone where, Jackye brought up last week, we were having a conversation and she brought up H-1Bs and I was like, oh yeah, that was last week. That's like, I already, we've already
Yeah.
planned this out.
I've moved on.
with that.
I can't be mad about that
Also,
anymore. Yeah.
Say you hate women without saying you hate women.
Right.
It's
100%.
that game is getting really,
It's old.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, okay. So I know this is going to be a short one. We're doing a quick.
oh my God.
Oh,
Don't tell me.
right.
It's a quickie. Yeah, it's a quickie today. So, but don't listen, listeners, don't worry. We are bringing Desiree and Ashley back. So this is not a one-time only deal. But I would like to ask both of you, what is one thing you want our listeners to hear? And what I mean by that is, is it something that they can do tomorrow? Is it something they can be thinking about? Is it something you've said? What's one thing that you want our listeners to take away from this?
Yeah, Ashley, you start.
Ah, Helena, I knew you were going to do it to me.
Get you every time.
I know. So for me, and to be honest, it's okay because I always have the same exact soapbox. If I die, this is what I want to be known as. The lady in HR who says that, yes, we are economic gatekeepers and we can change generational wealth and we can alter the wealth gap and we can change America drastically without a single piece of legislation if we want. And so all of that comes down and stems to, being educated in macro systems, understanding these dots that are all connected, that are not obvious in front of us, and these strings that we pull that leverage them and what they do, and how we can take what we're doing in our everyday 40 hours a week and actually make it impact for the better, and be something for social justice for us all, because whatever happens to the least of these happens to all of us. And so we need to make sure that as in HR, that we can kind of hold the line and be more than just someone who's a paper pusher. So if they hear anything from me today, it is that you do much, much more than you think you do. And that if you had to start anything tomorrow, I would say first things first, pay people equal pay for the equal work. Whatever the job is, cost, stop negotiating. Just today, just like let it go. Just be like, ooh, because that $5,000 to that one individual is a way bigger difference than the pat on the back your boss is going to give you for the attaboy of saving them $5K. You can change lives with one decision right there tomorrow. So I want to encourage you to do that. And yeah, I would say that that's my little
This is
two
why I
pennies.
make her go first.
Right. And I do it to Jackye too. I totally understand.
I'm like,
every
well,
week.
what am I supposed to say now?
Right.
Like,
I'm like, I don't know if there's anything else
all we
we should
can
add. Yeah.
that's all I got. Please,
Yeah.
just people.
Yeah.
My one thing is you have power and you do have a voice. Use your voice and your power. Educate yourself. Really be responsible to the world and society that you live in. Do one thing today that makes this world a little bit better, whatever that is or whatever you think that is. And it should be focused on people. And that's all I'm going to add. Thank you, Ashley.
Kobe, you did great.
Good job. Jackye, what you got? What you got, Jack?
Use your common sense. Don't fall for it. Like, don't gaslight yourself. It's actually idiocy, and don't allow it. And also, Pete Hegseth can go fuck himself.
Woo!
Okay. Okay.
Love it.
I loved it too.
All right. To summarize, no, I'm kidding. No, I think, I kind of what you all are saying, I will just echo that sentiment is we all need to be taking action, and it feels super overwhelming right now because there's so much coming at us. But what's under your control and what's in your span of control is so powerful, and you need to acknowledge the power that the HR person has, whether that's talent acquisition professional, the HR business partner, whatever it is understanding your power. So Desiree, Ashley, thank you so much for joining the Inclusive AF podcast.
Thank you for having us.
Of course. This is Katee Van Horn.
This is Jackye Clayton.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.